I want your attention now because I'm about to upset a definition you were taught from childhood. The wealthiest place on earth is not the diamond mines of South Africa. It is not the gold fields of South America. It is not the oil wells of the Middle East. It is not the banks in Switzerland, London, or Wall Street. I got news for you. The wealthiest place on this planet is the cemetery. Yes, the one not too far from your house. The one you pass on your way to work. The one that keeps quiet while it takes deposits every day. Why is it wealthy? Because wealth is not money. Wealth is stored potential. Wealth is treasure that never got converted into service. Wealth is value that died in someone's chest. The cemetery is full of books that were never written, businesses that were never started, songs that were never sung, apologies that were never spoken, inventions that were never built, visions that were never funded, cures that were never researched, strategies that were never shared, paintings that were never painted, and leadership that was never offered. Unexpressed gifts don't vanish. They get buried, and the cemetery becomes rich at your expense. I want you to write this down, please. I will not add to the wealth of the cemetery. Say it with me. Open your mouth and declare it. I will not add to the wealth of the cemetery. Again, louder, like you're signing it with your breath. I will not add to the wealth of the cemetery. Good. You just started withdrawing your treasure from the ground before it claims it. The moral question in front of us is not how long you will live, but what will it cost the world if you live without expressing what's inside you? What will your children pay if your gift remains a secret? What will your community pay if your vision stays locked behind your fear? What invoice is your generation footing because you decided to delay one more year, one more month, one more day? Procrastination is a silent thief. It makes the cemetery its banker and collects interest on your hesitation. I want you to feel the weight of that, not to condemn you, but to confront you. Some of you have been busy but not productive, active but not impactful, moving but not delivering. And while you negotiate with your doubts, the cemetery is negotiating with your destiny. I got news for you. Time is not on your side. Purpose is. And purpose requires a decision. So here is my promise to you today. This is not a session for inspiration. This is a session for decision. We are not here to get goosebumps. We are here to get governance over our lives. We will talk about how to keep your treasure out of the ground, how to die empty and leave your world full, how to turn breath into legacy before breath leaves your body. Are there any eagles in this room? Then write it down again, sign it in your spirit, and prepare your will. I will not add to the wealth of the cemetery. We start now. Now that you have signed it in your spirit, listen carefully and write this down. You were born carrying something. You did not arrive empty. You arrived pregnant with assignment. Death is not just an event. Death is your deadline. Life is your delivery window. Every sunrise is a reminder that your package is still inside you. And every sunset is a reminder that the window is closing. Your life is not measured by years lived, but by the gift delivered before you die. Please write that down. Not birthdays, deliveries, not candles, contributions, not how long you inhale, but what you exhale into your generation. Here is the tragedy that keeps the cemetery wealthy. Many people spend their entire life surviving, clocking in and clocking out, working 2 jobs, managing anxiety, coping with disappointments, numbing pain with entertainment, buying houses they never make into homes, collecting titles that never turn into impact, and then they leave the planet still loaded, full of music that never escaped their throat, full of strategies that never left their notebook, full of love that never reached the people who needed it, full of courage that was always scheduled for tomorrow. I got news for you. The world does not benefit from what you carry if you never deliver it. Potential blesses nobody. Delivery does. So I want to introduce a new posture for your soul. Die empty. When I say die empty, I do not mean exhausted from anxiety. I mean fulfilled from obedience. Empty of hoarded ideas. Empty of withheld forgiveness, empty of compliments you never spoke, empty of apologies you kept hostage behind pride, empty of plans that needed your signature, empty of courage you delayed until the clock ran out. I want you to be so completely emptied of what you were sent with that when the grave sees you coming, it groans and says, too late, there is nothing left to take. That is the posture of the eagle, the rare breed I came to deposit, not to store. Now let me confront the polite thieves that keep you full. I'm not ready. I need permission. I need more money. When the kids grow up, when I feel confident. Write this down. Readiness is a decision before it is a feeling. Permission is internal before it is external. Money follows vision. It does not precede it. Children do not postpone purpose. They witness it. Confidence is a byproduct of action, not a prerequisite for it. The cemetery is financed by the word when. If you keep waiting on perfect conditions, you are telling your gift to take the next bus to the graveyard. I want you to open your mouth and seal this now. Say it with me. I was born full, but I will not die full. Again, wake your spirit up. I was born full, but I will not die full. One more time like you mean it. I was born full, but I will not die full. Good. You are canceling the standing order on your potential. Hear me. The Creator did not send you to earth to make a living. He sent you to make a delivery. Your job is not your work. Your work is your gift made visible. Do not confuse activity with assignment. Do not let the calendar seduce you into thinking you have time to spare. The deadline is non-negotiable, even if the due date is secret. Write this down. I will not leave this planet until I deposit what I was sent with. That is the only metric that will matter when you breathe your last breath, that you delivered, that you died empty, that your world is richer because you refused to keep what did not belong to you. Write this down. Most people don't die in the cemetery, they die in their routine. The funeral happens quietly in the calendar while the body still shows up to meetings, still answers emails, still smiles for photos. The dream dies first, and then the body catches up years later. The obituary reads faithful employee, but the archive of heaven reads undelivered package. I got news for you. The greatest danger is not dying. It is living long enough to bury your own potential. How does it happen? It doesn't begin with a coffin. It begins with comfort. You start negotiating with smallness. You postpone the book until the children are older. You postpone the business until the market is perfect. You postpone the song until you feel confident. And every postponement becomes a shovel of dirt over your gift. Potential does not scream when you suffocate it. It whispers, and routine turns up the music so you can't hear it. Listen to the thorns. Some of you came in here with job frustration that will not leave you alone. Recurring dissatisfaction that rides with you to work and sleeps at the foot of your bed. Restlessness that makes promotions feel like paper crowns. An inner disturbance you can't medicate. A holy discontent that insults every excuse you give it. Please write this down. Thorns are not punishments. Thorns are indicators, alarms in the nest announcing it's time to fly. If you misread them, you'll call them stress and keep patting the nest. If you discern them, you'll call them training and spread your wings. Here is the next diagnosis. You have an occupation, but do you have an assignment? Your occupation is what they pay you to do. Your assignment is what you were born to do. You can receive a salary for activity and still betray the impact you were sent to make. Many are busy filling quotas while their gift sits unemployed. Say this with me. My job is not my work. My work is my gift made visible. Again, my job is not my work. Good. That clarity will keep you from signing long-term leases with short-term rooms. Now let me expose the silent killers. Delay rots gifts. Fear is mold on the heart. It spreads in the dark. Distraction decays vision. Every scroll, a slow leak. Every comparison, a hole in your bucket. Approval seeking is suffocation. You hold your breath waiting for likes and your calling loses oxygen. Please write this down. Excellence cannot breathe in the atmosphere of permission. It breathes in the atmosphere of conviction. If you require the crowd to clap before you move, you will always arrive late to your own life. So hear the mercy even in your discomfort. If your environment is hurting you, maybe it is not punishing you, it is training you. If the chair at your desk feels like thorns, if the meeting feels like feathers being plucked, if the calendar feels like a cage, perhaps the nest is being dismantled to wake up your wings. The question before us is not whether you will feel pain. The question is what kind of bird you are. Are there any eagles in this room? Because pigeons complain about thorns. Eagles interpret thorns as signals. We will decide your identity next, but first sever this diagnosis in your spirit. I refuse to live long enough to bury my own potential. Write this down. Identity is a decision before it is a description. If you don't choose an identity, the crowd will choose one for you and it will bury your gift. I got news for you. The cemetery feeds on the indecisive. It fattens itself on people who never decided what kind of bird they are. Are there eagles in this room? Then hear me, this is not a compliment. This is a contract. Eagles are purpose-driven. Pigeons are crowd-driven. Eagles move by inner conviction. Pigeons move by outer commotion. Eagles answer to assignment. Pigeons answer to noise. Let me expose the pigeon patterns that make cemeteries rich. Pigeons are addicted to comfort. They will rearrange the feathers all day and call it progress. Pigeons are addicted to approval. They wait for a clap before they peck. They check the flock before they choose a crumb. Pigeons are addicted to noise. They cannot sit in silence long enough to hear a vision, so they drown in chatter and call it community. Pigeons practice tradition without vision. They circle the same square, repeat what their parents repeated, protect routines that protect nothing. Write this down. The cemetery is financed by comfort addiction, approval addiction, noise addiction, and tradition without vision. If your decisions are made by applause, you have already signed a lease in the graveyard. Now lift your head and study the rare breed. Eagles choose solitude because clarity has a sound and it is usually quiet. Eagles maintain focus. Scientists say they can lock on a target from miles away and ignore every distraction between. Eagles choose altitude. They build their lives on higher rock, so their environment serves their vision, not their excuses. Eagles master timing. They wait for thermals and ride currents efficient, strategic, conserving energy for the strike. Eagles display courage under pressure. When storms come, they don't hide. They spread their wings and use the wind that scares pigeons to climb. Please write this down. Solitude, focus, altitude, timing, courage. These are not feelings. These are disciplines. The Creator compared himself to the eagle because dominion sits at altitude. If he is like an eagle, what are you doing in a flock pecking at crumbs? Everybody put your hand on your chest and say, I am leaving the ranks of the pigeons. Say it again with decision. Leave no room for negotiation. I am leaving the ranks of the pigeons. Tell your neighbor, I love you, but I am not staying at street level. One more time, shout it so your fears can hear you. Eagles fly alone. Give yourself a hand for choosing identity. Come on, celebrate a divorce from the crowd's permission. This is your emancipation from the noise, from the feed, from the flock's schedule. Join me at the top. But hear my pastoral warning. Identity without principles becomes emotion. Saying eagle without structure is a high with no highway. So we are going to convert this identity into a repeatable system. 7 decisions that will keep your gift out of the ground. Today you chose who you are. Next, we will choose how you move. Because the cemetery cannot have you. And the flock cannot hold you. And your generation cannot afford you to stay grounded. Prepare your pen. We build a flight plan next. I'm going to give you decisions, not suggestions. Write them down. Identity must become itinerary. Inspiration must become implementation. Principle number 1. Decide to live with deadline awareness. Please write that down. Time is not neutral. It is a conveyor belt moving your gift either to delivery or to burial. I got news for you. The cemetery has a marketing team called Later. Later is how potential takes a nap and never wakes up. You must schedule your gift like mortality is real. Put your purpose on the calendar or the grave will put you on its calendar. How do we do it? Build your unfinished list right now. The things that must leave your spirit and enter history before you die. Ideas to build, reconciliations to make, creations to publish, contributions to give, opportunities to say yes to, names to mentor, skills to master, places to serve. Now, don't make a wish list assign dates. A book without a manuscript date is a fantasy. A call without a timestamp is a sentiment. By Friday, 5 p.m., email the apology. By the 30th, record the first podcast episode. In 30 days, deliver the prototype to 3 users. Every Tuesday, 7-8 a.m. Write 500 words. Every first Saturday, mentor 2 students. Dates convert breath into bricks. Write this down. The calendar is a moral document. If it's not there, it's not real. Say it with me. I schedule my gift. Again, I schedule my gift. One more time so your fear can hear you. I schedule my gift. Stop negotiating with time. Time is not negotiating with you. Principle number 2, possess vision, not just desire. Please write that down. Desire is a feeling. Vision is a picture. Desire fluctuates with weather. Vision governs in all seasons. Desire asks, what do I feel like? Vision asks, what fits the picture? Desire is appetite. Vision is assignment. The eagle can lock on a target from miles away and ignore everything between. Vision behaves like that in a human. It creates edges, boundaries, and decisions. You don't need more motivation. You need a clearer photograph of where you are going and who you refuse to be on the way. Let me give you word logic to anchor this. Vision prevents division. Die means 2. Division is 2 visions. Split focus, split energy, split heart. When vision dies, life divides into distractions, drama, and delay. That's why some of you are exhausted. 5 apps open in your soul and none of them saving the document. Write this down. When I see it, I can say no to it. Vision makes no holy. If it doesn't serve the picture, it's a distraction. If it fights the picture, it's drama. If it postpones the picture, it's delay. Application. Write a 1-sentence vision for your gift this year. Not a paragraph, a picture. I exist to deliver X to Y by Z with excellence and integrity. Then list 3 non-negotiables that protect that picture. Your morning routine, your study block, your training environment, your association standards. Post it where your eyes can't escape it. Say it with me. My desire submits to my vision. Again, my desire submits to my vision. One more time. My desire submits to my vision. The cemetery is filled with people who had desire. It is emptied by people who made decisions guided by vision. Choose your dates. Choose your picture. Keep your gift out of the ground. Write this down. Your inputs determine your altitude. Principle number 3, feed on live food. Eagles do not eat dead meat. Vultures do. That's why vultures look like what they consume. Ugly attitudes, decayed conversations, recycled outrage. I got news for you. What you listen to, what you read, and what you rehearse is either strengthening the eagle in you or sedating it to sleep. Your future collapses when you feed on dead inputs and trust untested voices. Please write that sentence and circle it. Application begins now. Build an input diet. Morning, give your first 30 minutes to living words that build your assignment. Scripture that frames identity. A chapter from a builder's biography. A focused section of a manual that sharpens your skill. Commute, mentor yourself with audio from proven practitioners, not entertainers who haven't delivered anything but opinions. Midday, practice the craft that carries your gift. 15 deliberate reps of the one skill that moves the needle. Evening, review the day. 1 paragraph of reflection. 1 adjustment for tomorrow. Weekly, sit at the feet of a mentor or in a room where you are the least accomplished person. Humility is a nutrient. Monthly, schedule a silence block to hear your own vision again. Clarity has a sound and it is usually quiet. Now the subtraction. Eliminate dead meat media that numbs courage, doom scrolling, gossip commentary, trauma as entertainment, endless comparison feeds that make you despise your own lane. Mute voices that mock your calling. Unfollow chaos. Cancel subscriptions that keep you poor in spirit. Replace every hour of numbing with an hour of nourishing. One for one. Say it with me. I feed my future live food. Again, I feed my future live food. One more time so your appetite hears you. I feed my future live food. Principle number 4. Eagles always test before they trust. Please write that down. Trust is not a gift. Trust is a graduation. Eagles never hand their destiny to untested relationships, advice, or opportunities. Charm is not character. Energy is not integrity. A microphone is not a mandate. Do not outsource your assignment to people who have chemistry with your feelings but no covenant with your vision. Create a trust protocol. Time, nobody skips it. Set a minimum runway. If it cannot wait, do not participate. Consistency. Give small tasks and check for repeat performance. 1 promise kept by accident. 5 kept on schedule by design. Alignment. Do their values serve the picture you wrote, or do they pull you back to the flock? Pressure. Watch them under inconvenience. Character leaks when it's squeezed. Money clarity in writing. No secret pockets. No handshake fantasies. Invoices. Deliverables. Exit clauses. Confidentiality, give a seed of sensitive information and watch if it stays planted. Counsel, seek references. Fruit talks louder than branding. And observe how they treat those who cannot benefit them. Honor for the least reveals truth about the great. Say it with me. I test before I trust. Again, I test before I trust. One more time. I test before I trust. Give yourself a hand for protecting your future. Gatekeeping is love for your assignment. Now hear the bridge. Once your vision is clear and your company is tested, the next enemy is not people, it is pressure. Storms are coming, not to drown you, but to lift you. In a moment, I will show you how eagles use the very winds that terrify pigeons to climb without flapping. We're about to turn pressure into power. Principle number 5, write this down. Use the storm for altitude. I got news for you. Storms are not evidence that you are rejected. Storms are the elevator for eagles. What threatens the crowd can lift the call if you stop interpreting storms as signals to quit. Everybody say with me, I use pressure for power. Again, louder, I use pressure for power. Here is the law. Please write it and circle it. The same wind that scares pigeons lifts eagles. The wind does not change. Identity changes the outcome. Pigeons panic and scatter. Eagles spread, lock, rise. Your reaction to pressure reveals your species. If you complain, you descend. If you convert, you ascend. Use pressure for depression or use it for elevation. Use pain as proof of failure or proof of training. Either or choose your sky. Let me name your weather so you stop pretending you don't feel the rain. Betrayal that made you question your discernment. Layoffs that shook your provision. Delays that mock your deadlines. Criticism that drips like acid on your confidence. Financial strain that squeezes your creativity. Family conflict that interrupts your focus. And right when you arrange your calendar, a storm tears up your itinerary and dares you to stay grounded. Hear me. Storms are not sent to cancel your assignment. They are sent to calibrate your wings. Study the eagle's response. Scientists tell us when a storm front gathers, the eagle does not hide under leaves like a pigeon, and it does not waste itself flapping against the gusts. It climbs to a high rock, faces the wind, sets its wings at an angle, locks the joints, and waits for the updraft. Then the very wind that terrifies others becomes a staircase to higher altitudes. No frantic motion, just mastery. Please write this down. Don't panic position. Don't flail, fix your form. Don't interpret resistance as rejection. Read it as a ride. Here is your storm protocol. Number 1, pause and rename it. This is training, not termination. Number 2, simplify to essentials. Protect vision, protect values, protect the one activity that delivers your gift. Cut everything else until the wind passes. Number 3, face the wind. Have the hard conversation. Open the bills. Read the report. Fear grows in the dark. Courage grows in exposure. Number 4, angle your wings. Schedule stillness to hear. Then make one decisive move you can sustain. Number 5, lock your joints. Hold your non-negotiables. Sleep, prayer, study, practice. Number 6, ride. Don't rant. Convert criticism into data. Convert delays into development. Convert betrayal into boundary clarity. Number 7, document altitude. Write what the storm taught you before it leaves. Storms are professors with short office hours. Say this with me. The wind is my lift. Again, the wind is my lift. One more time until your nervous system agrees. The wind is my lift. Give yourself a hand for deciding to rise. And here is the transition. Storms expose your stamina, but there is a more intimate instructor coming. Some of you have felt it already. The subtle ache, the discomfort in places that used to feel like home. That is not punishment, that is design. We are about to let the thorns train you. Because after you learn to ride the wind, the nest itself will push you to fly. Write this down. Principle number 6, let the thorns train you. Discomfort is not punishment, it is the push that introduces you to your wings. I got news for you. The eagle's nest is comfortable on purpose for a season, and then it becomes uncomfortable on purpose for a reason. Mama eagle builds with sticks and thorns, then lines it with soft feathers so the eaglets can rest, feed, and grow. But when it is time to fly, she starts pulling the feathers out. She exposes the thorns. The same nest that once hugged them begins to prick them, and the message is clear. You cannot stay here and become what you are. Some of you are living in a feathered nest that has started scratching your soul. Your job used to feel like a gift, now it feels like grit. Your routine used to soothe you, now it irritates you. The meeting room feels smaller, the paycheck feels like a sedative, the applause feels hollow. Please write this down. When comfort becomes irritation, heaven is sending you a memo. Flight training has begun. If you misread it, you will medicate what was meant to motivate. Thorns are not your enemy. Thorns are your coach. Now, study the next move. Mama eagle does something radical. She pushes that little eaglet toward the edge. The eaglet argues, clings, complains, but she keeps nudging. Then the moment of mercy, disguised as terror, she drops the eaglet. Why? Because you cannot learn aerodynamics in a padded nest. You cannot discover wings while you are insulated from risk. Falling is part of the syllabus. The eaglet tumbles, flails, screams, then something ancient wakes up in those bones. Instinct meets design. Wings stretch, form takes shape, and just when panic peaks, Papa Eagle is watching. He dives, he catches, he lifts back to the rock. Then they do it again and again and again. Training is repetition under supervision until confidence replaces panic. Please write this down. What you call free fall, God calls flight school. Say it with me. Thorns are teachers. Again, thorns are teachers. One more time so your excuses can hear you. Thorns are teachers. I want you right now to identify one thorn you've been cursing that is actually pushing you toward your assignment. Write it down. A stagnant role, a draining relationship, a constant restlessness, a door that keeps shutting, a schedule that suffocates your study time. Name it. Now rename it. Training. Determine one obedient move in response. Have the conversation. Book the class. Design the exit plan with dates. Volunteer for the work that aligns with your gift. Decline the commitment that buries your wings. Do not pad the nest again. Every time you add another feather of distraction, you delay your flight. And hear the compassion in this command. You won't be dropped without supervision. The same God who compares himself to the eagle is the one who watches the fall, times the catch, and repeats the process until you own the sky. But training is not random. Write this down. Transformation requires structure, repetition, and accountability. If you are serious about keeping your gift out of the ground, you must turn this training into a plan. In a moment, we will organize your gift with dates, disciplines, and checkpoints so the cemetery gets nothing from you. The thorns woke you up. Now the plan will keep you up. Principle number 7, write this down. Build a delivery plan for your gift. A gift is not a gift until it is delivered. Ideas without structure still end up in the cemetery. Inspiration that never meets a schedule becomes a eulogy. Vision without systems becomes sentiment. Please write this. Plans are how you keep your treasure out of the ground. Say it with me. My gift must leave my life and enter history. Again, my gift must leave my life and enter history. Here is your die empty map. One main gift named the crown assignment that everything else serves. 3 supporting projects. Choose the initiatives that amplify that gift, not distract from it. A product that carries it, a platform that broadcasts it, a program that trains others in it. Weekly output targets, numbers, not vibes. Words written, clients served, prototypes built, hours practiced, lessons taught, calls made. On a public deadline, put a date on the wall and announce it to people who will ask you for the proof. Write this down. Secrecy protects your excuses. Exposure protects your execution. Now, organize delivery. Schedule it. Block your sacred hours where you are smartest and least interrupted. Protect them like you protect oxygen. System it. Create templates, checklists, and a repeatable workflow so momentum is not at the mercy of mood. Milestone it. Divide the mountain into base camps with dates. Celebrate each arrival with gratitude and the next ascent with resolve. Pre-decide your shipping days, non-negotiable delivery moments when something leaves your hands and enters the world. Say it. I ship on schedule. Introduce a simple measurement. Each week ask your soul a courtroom question. What did you ship, publish, practice, pitch, build, reconcile, or teach? Not what did you plan, not what did you feel, what did you deliver? Keep a visible scoreboard, SPPPBRT. If a letter is empty, you know where the cemetery was trying to invoice you. Friday is review. Sunday is design. Monday is delivery. Write this down. Review reveals. Design decides. Delivery dignifies. Define your eagle circle, mentors, peers, and learners. Mentors call you higher because they live at the altitude you're flying toward. Meet them monthly with questions prepared and ego parked. Pairs fly wing to wing. 2 or 3 truth tellers who share targets, compare scoreboards, and refuse your excuses meet weekly and bring receipts, not reasons. Learners are those you pour into. Teaching forces clarity and multiplies impact. Choose a few and serve them consistently. The eagle circle demands altitude, not entertainment. If they don't challenge your standards, they are not your circle. Say it with me. I keep company with air that makes me breathe better. Last instruction, publish your plan. Put the die-empty map on one page, sign it, date it, and send a copy to your eagle circle. Book the first shipping day within 7 days. Announce the public deadline before fear edits your mouth. And I got news for you. The moment you commit to execution, resistance will send a delegation. Fear will whisper. Approval will negotiate. Delay will dress up as later. Do not panic. In a moment, we will confront these 3 thieves at the door of your destiny and evict them before they make the cemetery any richer. Now we confront the delegation at your door. Write this down. Fear, approval, and delay are not personality traits. They are thieves stealing your delivery before death does. I got news for you. If you don't arrest them, they will escort your gift to the cemetery with full honors and no apology. Are there eagles in this room? Then square your shoulders. We're filing charges. First thief, fear. Please write this down. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is obedience in the presence of fear. Fear is a feeling, obedience is a decision. Eagles feel fear, heights are high, cliffs are real, storms are loud, but they spread their wings anyway. Fear signals value. It only shows up where destiny is nearby. Use fear as a fence and you'll pace in circles. Use fear as a signpost and you'll step into your assignment. Say it with me. My obedience is my courage. Again. My obedience is my courage. One more time. My obedience is my courage. Second thief, approval. Hear me with love. If you need permission, you will never complete an assignment. Crowds reward pigeons, not eagles. Pigeons perform for applause. Eagles perform for assignment. Likes are counterfeit legacy. Claps are cheap currency. Excellence offends average before it blesses history. Write that down. If your mood rises and falls on someone else's eyebrows, your purpose is unemployed. Say it. I am not a tenant of other people's opinions. Again, I am not a tenant of other people's opinions. Third thief delay. Tomorrow is the cemetery's favorite word. Procrastination is a slow funeral for vision one shovel of later at a time. Every time you say not yet, the graveyard sends you a thank you note. You either ship or you shovel. Choose. Please write this down and circle it. Time will invoice you for indecision at compound interest. Say it with me. I move now. Again, I move now. Now practice. Take your pen. 3 sentences. Honest and unedited. Number 1, I am afraid of. Write the thing. Call, launch, conversation, price, platform. Number 2, I am seeking approval from. Name the person, group, algorithm, tradition. Number 3, I have delayed. Identify the project, apology, prototype, application. Done? Good. Convert each sentence into one action within 72 hours. If you wrote, I am afraid of making the call, schedule it for tomorrow at 10 a.m. Script your first 2 lines, dial anyway. If you wrote, I am seeking approval from X, set a boundary, mute them, stop sending drafts for permission, ship it out their applause. If you wrote, I have delayed the prototype, book a 60-minute build sprint tonight, send the version to 3 users, put the review date on your calendar. Send your 3 actions to your Eagle Circle before midnight. Exposure protects execution. Lift your voice. I break agreement with fear. I end my lease with approval. I evict delay from my destiny. Give yourself a hand for pressing charges against the thieves. Now hear the bridge. Once thieves are named and neutralized, we sign what they cannot counterfeit, a covenant. In a moment we will stand and make a decision that the cemetery will not inherit your gift, that your life will not be buried with you, that your name will be remembered for delivery, not delay. Prepare your heart. We are about to choose to die empty and live on purpose, starting now. Walk with me one last time through the richest address on earth, past the polished stones and trimmed grass. Feel the hush of history waiting for what never arrived. See the rows of buried books, chapters that never met a page. See the buried inventions, solutions that stayed trapped in sketchbooks. See the buried ministries, messages that never found a microphone. See the buried love, apologies unsent, forgiveness unsaid, embraces that delayed until the calendar closed. The cemetery is not rich because of death. It is rich because of delivery that never happened. Write this down. I refuse to let my gift become soil for that empire. My greatest dream and wish for you, here, your father in the faith tonight, is that you go to the cemetery completely empty, fulfilled and finished, with your gift delivered, your assignment executed, your name remembered not for potential, but for proof. Say it with me. I will not add to the wealth of the cemetery. Again, strong. I will not add to the wealth of the cemetery. One more time. So your future hears you. I will not add to the wealth of the cemetery. Now we sign what the thieves cannot counterfeit, a covenant. Write this down and personalize it. Today I make a covenant with my Creator, my calling, my character, and my calendar. I will schedule my gift, steward my gift, and ship my gift. I will feed on live inputs, test before I trust, use storms for altitude, let thorns train me, and execute plans that keep my treasure out of the ground. I will not consult fear for counsel, nor rent space to approval, nor bow to the idol of later. Are there eagles in this room? Then lift your head. Covenant is altitude. I got news for you. Renewal is real, and it is available on demand to those aligned with assignment. The scripture says, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Waiting is not idleness. Waiting is alignment. Waiting is calibrating your wings to his wind so you can move when he moves and deliver when he says deliver. When you align with the one who designed you, storms become staircases, thorns become teachers, and time becomes a partner instead of a predator. Now, action before sleep tonight, not tomorrow, not next week. Number one, write the one gift you will deliver next, the specific product, message, service, reconciliation, or design that must leave your life and enter history. Number two, write the first step you will take within 72 hours, the call, the prototype sprint, the meeting booked, the script drafted, the apology sent with a time and a date. Number three, write the name of the person you will tell your eagle in the circle who will ask for evidence. Then send it before midnight. Exposure protects execution. Put your hand on your heart and declare, I choose to die empty. I choose to live on purpose. I choose to ship what I was sent with. Give yourself a hand for the courage to covenant. Now go mount up, deliver, and leave this world richer because you refuse to bury what God put in you. I'll meet you at the top.